This one's wife, Cutbacks, cash strapped. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The Sussex household is an interesting one when it comes to the issue of money. On the one hand, you have Prince Harry, who has come from a wealthy background, a life of privilege, where money has never been a concern. Individually wealthy, and recently, having received some further inheritance, he's always been a multimillionaire. This one's wife was doing reasonably well in relation to her career, but nowhere on the scale that her narcissism felt was satisfactory. As a somatic narcissist, money is hugely important to her. Money allows her to triangulate people, to control and draw fuel from them by, for example, ostentatious displays of wealth, being seen in the right places, buying expensive clothing to show off what she thinks is a gorgeous body. Access to money is important to narcissists, and particularly those of a somatic persuasion, because it assists with the pursuit of the prime aims. Certain narcissists who have money are tight with it. Others utilize it by way of grandiosity through their financial largesse. Other narcissists are entirely haphazard when it comes to their financial circumstances. Certain narcissists use the money of others, either being a freeloader or in some instances stealing it. And when it came to this one's wife and Harry, you essentially have two individuals which are pretty catastrophic when it comes to the use of money. Harry has never had to earn any money. He doesn't really understand its value because it's always been there for him. This one's wife is driven to pursue money as a consequence of her narcissism, but she's never really generated substantial wealth in her own right. She bolted on the wealth of Prince Harry through marriage. She obtained the contracts for Spotify and Netflix because of who she married, not because of her talent as an actress or her talent as a content creator. Undoubtedly, she's wealthy, but because of her narcissism, she also believes that she should be even wealthier, and this has caused her to behave in a manner whereby she has no sense of accountability for the money she spends and a sense of entitlement with regard to the amount of money that she believes she should have access to. This manifests in the almost perfect storm for the Sussex household, whereby you have an individual who has never really done a proper job. Yes, he was in the army, but that was expected of him as a consequence of him being a member of the royal family. He's never gone out and applied for a job in the way that ordinary people do. He's never had to work a 9 till 5 in the way that ordinary people do. I don't say that to blame Harry. He couldn't help but be born a prince. But it does explain that he has a different attitude towards money, which means that he's not used to being without it, and, in essence, he's not used to being particularly careful with it. Furthermore, with his wife, with her grandiosity and lack of accountability, she deems his money as hers, and she likes to spend huge amounts on clothing and jewellery, a large expensive house, security detail, PR. All of these things cost considerable money. And that's all very well if you've got lots of it and you're generating lots of money, but they aren't. What does Harry really do? He's the chimp officer at Better Up, and he has a role with Travelist. Beyond that, his money, he perhaps has an income from investments and what's sat in the bank, but he doesn't actually do anything. He doesn't run a business which is generating money. He has to plead to receive income from the Bank of Par. For this one's wife, what does she do? She's not performing an actress role. Her content creation is rubbish. Yes, she received money for that, but I dare say that's already been spent. As ever, isn't generating any money. The sales are nowhere near the level they would need to be. And she has no other appreciable streams of income. Accordingly, the pair of them will be eating into existing assets, and that would appear to be borne out by an article from page 6, which tells us Prince Harry and this one's wife have cut ties with their comms team as they focus on saving cash. Just last month, it was revealed that the renegade royals had parted ways with 6 more employees, including their 2 in-house reps. Now, we're told the tally of staff the couple has lost or let go since they quit as working royals back in 2020 is up to 25, with some departures not yet publicised. The Sussex's Netflix deal, reported to be worth up to $100 million, though sources say it's actually closer to $20 million, is also up this year. Now, pausing there, if the totality of the deal was $20 million, and they've got to produce content using that, that doesn't leave them with a lot left over for the purposes of spending for themselves. It's understood that their security detail is several $1 million a year, hence, of course, why Harry has been clamouring to get taxpayers to fund it instead. He also has legal bills, both his own and those of the government, where he has failed in his legal quest. It's the same old story, says one royal source. They cycle through staff as quickly as normal people cycle through toilet paper. Milk lasts longer than their employees. The streamer is now prioritising first look deals rather than overall exclusive contracts. It's reported in respect of Netflix, which means they could re-sign for significantly less money than their current deal. This could prove a headache for the couple, who have a heap of expenses, from travelling to an annual security bill believed to be around $2 million. They splashed out $14.65 million on their home. It's now believed to be worth around $27 million. I don't believe that for a start. It's dated. I mean, for goodness sake, it's so crappy that this one's wife wouldn't film there. It's likely as well to be unbearable to live there because isn't it, besides a cannabis farm and some poultry business, I bet there's a fair old stink in the summer, and that's not just from this one's wife's pits. Apparently, they've got a mortgage of $9.5 million to be paid back plus interest by the year 2050. They put down a $5 million deposit. They also have to pay a huge yearly property tax of $288,000. They also foot the bill for their staff in communications alongside their personal office, the Archwell Foundation, production, as well as employees at their estate in Monty Shit Show. They've also had to pay for a proportion of their faux foreign tours, which have seen them visit Nigeria and Colombia. They've lost hard-working Kyle Boulier, their Los Angeles-based deputy press secretary, and Charlie Gibson, who had been serving as the couple's European communications director. They also lost Disha Tank, Archwell's Director of Communications, and Leanne Cashin, formerly Head of Operations at Archwell. This one's wife's social manager and a personal assistant, who have not been named, have also departed. Meredith Maines remains the couple's Chief Communications Officer after coming on board in February, after their last PR boss, Ashley Hansen, left to start her own consultancy firm. As the Duke and Duchess's business and philanthropic interests grow, I have made the strategic decision to move towards a more traditional communication structure of specialist agency support, said Maines in a statement. Accordingly, they're cutting back, and this is likely a consequence of the fact that they're not the easiest people to work with. Indeed, insiders have explained that the couple was infuriated and upset by an unflattering Vanity Fair cover story in January, which claimed this one's wife could be cold and withholding to staffers at the drop of a dime if something went poorly. It was really, really, really awful, very painful, an unnamed staff member who worked with this one's wife on media projects alleged. As another said, she would throw employees to the wolves. This is hardly a surprise. After all, she is a narcissist. So it would appear that the loss of staff is a combination of people not wanting to work with them and also as a consequence of the fact that they're cash-strapped. This may also explain that there is nobody reining this one's wife in with regard to her Instagram use, that she continues to produce material which makes her look stupid and desperate, and doesn't really serve any other purpose, apart from, of course, the prime aims. It certainly doesn't provide any strategic purpose, as you would expect communications to be from somebody that's famous and would have a staff advising her. The fact that she churns out any old rubbish, which is repetitive in nature, tends to support the fact that she hasn't got the appropriate people guiding her, not that she'd listen to them anyway. Their overheads are significant, and their income streams appear to have diminished. That can only mean one thing. Existing money is going to be running out, and the fact that they've engaged in these cutbacks is clear evidence of that being the case. This will certainly not please this one's wife. Her grandiosity wants a huge staff, she wants to be wealthy, and if this is not maintained, this could pose a problem for Prince Harry, in that it could be something that would trigger disengagement, if, of course, she was able to find a suitably wealthy replacement, which, for an ageing, unpleasant narcissist whose antics are well known around the globe, is going to prove somewhat difficult. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.